Morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Danielle Clemens. I'm with the New Jersey Department of Health, Youth Camp Safety, and Public Rec Bathing Projects. I'm joined by our partners at the DOH and partners at the DEP, Sherry and Marina. And we'll be talking about the beach management system. Um, thank you for joining us. You guys have been this group, as well as 17 other, I believe, 17 other organizations, will be the first adopters of this BMS system. So this is designed to give you a glimpse into the system, how to use it, why we implemented the system, and more information about that. We do have a guidance document. I'll post it in our chat. The guidance document is still not fully approved, but is in the approval process. So I think having the guidance document will be helpful for you to refer to in the future. Once the final version of the document has been released, I will go ahead and send that to you guys. For some reason, I can't share this. For some reason, I can't share it in the chat, so I will email it to you. And thank you for your patience. Go ahead and share my screen. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing. Can someone let me know what you see?
We see the contact us screen.
Yep, got you. Thank you. Okay. So program overview. Are you still seeing the slideshow?
Yes,
You're
we're seeing
good.
the slideshow.
You're good. Okay, perfect. Okay. So in 1972, the feds developed the Clean Water Act to essentially make sure that waters across the nation would stay clean and healthy. The DEP is charged with the DEP and DOH are both charged with these activities of keeping our waters clean. The DEP, I'm sorry, the DEP does have an aerial surveillance of lakes and early detection program. And the Department of Health, we do so using the recreational bathing rule for any bathing waters. Local health departments also participate in keeping our waters in New Jersey clean by enforcement, inspections, and bathing beach monitoring activities. In 2019, Governor Murphy pledged more than $13 million in funding to address HABs. The funding was dedicated to enhance the department's ability to address HABs over the state, to reduce non-point source pollution, and to build the state's infrastructure to increase monitoring, testing, and data management. Collectively, we have shared goals to ensure water quality is adequate, to identify pollution, to respond to health hazards, and to report our findings. In comes the database system. So the database system is a shared effort so that the DEP, the DOH, our local health authorities, and your bathing beach operators have access to the same information. It's used so that we can correct inefficiencies and communicate between partner organizations a lot faster. Benefits of using the BMS is that there are role-based access. You have real-time data. We also can approve workflows. Example being giving your beach operator access to the workflow, having them enter information, and then you folks at the local level approving it and then sending it up to the state level for additional approvals. The forms we currently have on the BMS are the 30-day rolling geomean forms, which are required to be used by any local health authority who has authority over a freshwater bathing facility, and the fatal serious accident report form. The BMS database system also has public facing tools wherein the public can see on a digital rendition of New Jersey different information as it relates to beach openings, beach closures, have existence, etc. So essentially, we're transitioning to a paperless system. The initial launch is this summer 2025, with 37 public recreational bathing facilities. We expect for full adoption by all local health departments within 5 years. The ultimate goal is to enhance data sharing, to increase faster communication, and better response time for water quality and management statewide. So seasonal sampling times generally start between at the beginning of May and continue on to September. The preseason and in-season sampling can also be entered into the database, and your response to the exceedance via sanitary surveys or whatever actions you take can be entered into the database. Monitoring parameters and frequency of collection. The sample analysis procedures are the details, the lab analysis and transfer conditions of the E. coli samples, early peaks to anticipate water quality issues before the final results are available. For the fatal serious accident report form, completion and submission. Reporting responsibilities for local health departments are to complete the form whenever there is an incident of a head, neck, spinal cord, or death at a PRB facility. The facility operator or owner is required to communicate the injury to the local health department within 24 hours. The local health department then has 48 hours to conduct the investigation. The accident then has to be documented using the CB2 form, the Fatal Serious Accident Report form. One form has to be completed for each injured person at the site. You have 5 days to submit the form to the department, but if you need more time to conduct the investigation, we absolutely would allow for that. We just need notification that you guys need additional time for the investigation. The BMS database has the exact same form within the database, which allows for our local health inspectors in the field to use their phones or tablets to enter the CB2 form data. Water quality sampling. So microbiological water quality sampling standards, maximum allowable E. coli concentrations are 320 coliform forming units per 100 milliliters of sample, and 100 coliform forming units per 100 milliliters of sampling for each 30-day geome. That is actually outlined using NJAC 8:26-7.18. Weekly sampling of the beach has to be conducted by the beach operators. Pre-sampling should begin at least 1 week prior to the beach opening. And the pre-operational assessment to identify any off-season changes or conditions that could compromise the water quality is also required. Usually that's done using a sanitary survey. As a result, as it relates to water quality enforcement and response actions, weekly test results must be submitted to the local health department and the DOH. DOH in the for freshwater beaches, it'll be submitted using the geomeme form. For, let's say, state parks, etc., that information is submitted to the DOH. Enforcement and response actions for sample failures are pursuant 8:26-8.8. And the importance of notifying both the DEP and DOH and adjacent health authorities whenever the beaches are closed is an important part of closing the loop and making sure that all partners are notified about bathing beach operations. The purpose and importance of sanitary surveys. One, it's a comprehensive evaluation of the pollution sources and water quality at the bathing beach. It's important that all the fields in the sanitary survey form are completed accurately to ensure thorough documentation of the survey findings. Circumstances when a sanitary survey is required. When a new bathing beach is being located, altered, or constructed, you need a sanitary survey. As part of the pre-season inspection processes, when an unsatisfactory water sample does not meet the water quality standards, and when a beach is closed and then reopened, and lastly, when the 30-day rolling geome indicates a water quality issue at a freshwater bathing beach. These are all instances when a sanitary survey is required. Dee, do you want to go over our what is it? Drowning statistics?
Yes, I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dee, and I'm assisting Daniel with the Public Recreational Basin Project. I'll briefly talk about the stats we have. All the stats we had, the data was from the CB2 form we received from local health department from 2018 to 2022 for. So this first figure is the drowning cases by gender. The pink bar represent female, and the purple bluish bar represent male. So we can say in most of the years we had here, it's a male, it's had way more drowning cases than female. In 2022, the number of drowning cases in female went up a lot more higher. That was because a group of school girls was involved in one drowning accident altogether. This one on the left side, it's a fatal cases versus non-fatal cases. So we have more, we have less fatal cases compared to non-fatal cases. And on the right side is drowning cases by age group. In New Jersey, in our case, in the past 6 years, the age group 5 to 18 had had the majority of the drowning cases. And you can see the bar there is green and red color. So that represent the non-fatal versus fatal accident. So in age group 5 to 18, most of the drowning cases are non-fatal. And in age group 19 to 65, majority of the drowning cases were fatal cases. In this last picture, we showed the percentage of fatal cases versus non-fatal cases when there is lifeguard on duty versus when there's no lifeguard on duty. So it's quite clear on the left side, when there's no lifeguard on duty, you can say it's around 73% of the cases was fatal. And versus on the right side, when we do have lifeguard on duty, we had 81% that was non-fatal accident versus there's only 14% fatal cases. So it's telling us lifeguard played a very important role saving lives. And I believe that's it. Daniel already talked about the geomin form, so I won't repeat here. I'll pass it to Sherry.
Thanks, Danielle and Dee. Let me share my screen. Okay, is everybody seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Sherry Schifrin. I'm an environmental scientist with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, and I'm the program manager of New Jersey's beach monitoring program. I'm going to tell you briefly about our program, our new beach monitoring system, how to report pollution incidents, and conduct sanitary surveys. And if you've heard this before, I apologize. So although at DEP we administer the beach monitoring program, we would leverage our resources by partnering with other agencies. The New Jersey Department of Health is responsible for the regulations surrounding the program. The local health authorities are out in the field grabbing water samples and conducting the sanitary surveys, as well as communicating with the beach owners and operators. And then we also partner with New Jersey's Forest Fire Service for aerial surveillance during beach season. So at all public recreational bathing beaches, we assess the water quality by monitoring weekly and analyzing the samples for fecal indicator bacteria. And in marine water, we analyze for enterococci, and in freshwater, we analyze for E. coli. The fecal indicator bacteria itself is generally not harmful, but indicates the possible presence of pathogenic bacteria, viruses, and protozoans that also live in the human and animal digestive systems. Therefore, swimming in water exceeding the standard poses an increased risk of illness such as gastroenteritis, low-grade fevers, and infections. The next part of the program is public notification. So if there's an exceedance of the standard, a beach action is posted online on this website and posted physically at the beach. And the first exceedance requires a swimming advisory. So a beach is still open for swimming during the advisory, but alerts the public of the exceedance to decide on their own if they should enter the water. And we recommend the elderly, the very young, and immunocompromised individuals do not enter the water. In addition, resamples of the stations that exceeded the standard are required and sanitary surveys. And I'll go into the sanitary surveys in a few slides. But if the sanitary survey reveals potential pollution impacts to the water, the beach will be closed for swimming as well. And then also, if any of the resamples exceed the standard, the beach is closed for swimming. And the closures are posted online and at the beach as well. This continues until resamples are back within the standard and the sanitary survey reveals it's safe for swimming. Then the beach may be reopened for swimming. And then the last aspect of the recreational beach monitoring program is responding to pollution incidents. So if you or the public is aware of a pollution incident, it should be called into our hotline or reported through our app. Our app is Warn DEP. This ensures the proper programs are notified at the department. So for beach monitoring program, we receive reports on all incidents that are within tidal waters to coordinate the response and ensure public health and safety at the swimming beaches. This includes holidays, weekends, and after hours. These incidents may range from trash wash-ups, fish kills, algal blooms, and pollution events, which can be oil or other hazardous waste spills, sewage overflows, wastewater treatment plant failures, etc. Pollution incidents may require a beach to be closed as a precaution while investigating the water quality impact, and this may or may not require additional monitoring. In addition, our program flies over the coast 6 days a week in season and once a week on Tuesdays over several of the larger lakes in the northwest portion of the state. We have trained observers looking for anything potentially harmful to swimmers. We also have a remote hyperspectral sensor on the aircraft that it's used as an early detection tool for HABs, or harmful algal blooms, by estimating the chlorophyll A levels and cyanobacteria cell counts. Our program can also help with source tracking for recreational bathing beaches with chronic water problems. When you see the amount of fecal coliform shed from a single dog is at over 5 billion, and a Canada goose is 87 million, a seagull's 142 million. These are all per day. These seemingly insignificant sources can be easily identified in the sanitary surveys and can have huge impacts on water quality, especially when multiplying by many dogs, gulls, and geese day in and day out. At the DEP, we can help gather stakeholders, do additional analysis of the data, conduct intensive monitoring studies, analyze samples for advanced analysis, such as coliphage, bacteroides, and antibiotic resistance analysis to determine the source of the bacteria, whether it's human, domestic animal, like a dog, or wildlife. We can help identify the source and facilitate elimination of the source by pulling in our enforcement group if needed, and working with our municipal finance group and New Jersey Water Bank to assist with funding. So now I'm going to briefly demo our new beach monitoring system. This is the public-facing side. And I need to stop sharing and share my other screen now. Okay, are you guys seeing the website? Looks like.
Yes, we are.
Thank you. All right, so this is the public side. The main feature is our interactive map right here. All of these gray symbols are the monitoring stations. So if you look down here, our coastal cooperative monitoring program, these are the lifeguarded beaches along the ocean, are the circles. Over here, you can put which program you want to see. And then the freshwater bathing beaches that I'm going to go into are these triangles. And then last is our environmental coastal monitoring. These are the diamonds. And these are at areas where primary recreation is occurring. So we want to check the water quality. However, it's not a lifeguarded beach, so we don't condone swimming there. In addition to displaying all of our programs, stations, we also, with those flights I was mentioning earlier, we can add the cyanobacteria cell counts. These are the lakes that we fly over. We have Round Valley and Spruce Run, Lake Mohawk, Bud Lake, Lake Hopatcong, Lake Musconetcong, Greenwood Lake up here, Swartzwood, and Boonton Reservoir that we fly over. So this will show the latest flight data that we have. So I think this one was from April 28th, and then our chlorophyll level data is also available on here. We flew on Monday, was our first coastal flight. You can see the track that they went up the Barnegat Bay and then inland to Raritan around Sandy Hook and back down along the coast. And these levels here are estimating the chlorophyll A. So that can be added to the map. And then down here, once the beaches do open, these are all gray because the beaches are not yet open for the season. Once they open, it'll turn green if it's open, and then once if it's under an advisory, it'll be yellow. If it is closed for swimming, it'll be red. And then temporary closures are things like if there's construction and the beach isn't open to swimming, but it's not due to water quality. So this is really a one-stop shop for finding out where you may want to go to a bathing beach in New Jersey. You can also look at the beach actions by clicking on beach actions at the top, and this will just give you a report out of the beach actions, not on the map, but in a table format. Beach data, all the data can be downloaded. I should have showed you something on the map. But you can download, several years here, or if you wanted to do a whole county, certain programs, whatever you want to filter for, you can get all the data downloaded. Our daily flight reports are located here. So we flew on Monday. We fly every day but Wednesdays. This is just a short little report. They saw bait fish off of Island Beach. Yesterday it was canceled due to the bad weather. And then today we don't schedule on Wednesdays so that the aircraft is scheduled for maintenance. If you want to see that data from the chlorophyll, you can also see it here. And this is where you can go back to the other dates that we did fly within the season. You can also do the same for cyanobacteria. Important information. We put rip current information, jellyfish information, boater's guide to vessel sewage here, when the humpback whale unusual mortality event, when we were having a large mortality event, we wanted to give a little bit more information. All that can be found here. All of our reports are on here, our annual summary reports of the past seasons, trends, etc. Our QAPs, quality assurance project plans, are on here. We have FAQs for the public to give them more information. We also have pictures of what you might find on the beach and what it might be. So I know I just learned, which is really sad, about these. These are the knobbed whelks egg cases. I never really knew what those were. I always thought it was some type of like spinal cord from some sea creature, but it's actually the egg case for these knobbed whelk, and then they break apart. Each one of these little things looks like this. It breaks apart, and when it breaks open, you actually can see the little baby whelks in there. Pretty cool. And then just our links and partners, which are all of you guys, the local health agencies. We have other links at the bottom, and then our social media. The one other thing I wanted to show you on the front end is when you do click on one of these stations. What do I have on here? Oh, just you can get, let's see, was this one monitored? Not yet. The pop-up screen will give you more information that shows you all of the water quality data for this season. So this station, New York Boulevard and Seagirt in Monmouth County, it's not yet open for the season, but it was monitored on Monday. Results came back Tuesday, and the result was less than 5. So now I'm going to show you the back end. So I have logged in under a profile under as if I worked for the state parks. So the state parks have 10 of the freshwater monitoring sites of the 37 that we are planning to display this year. Our system has also been built that if your beach requires something other than a beach badge, say you have to live in a certain lake community or go to a certain campground to also go to that lake beach, we're keeping that off of our public side, but the system has been built on the back end to handle those sites as well. So these are the 10, this is just a dashboard. These are the 10 beaches that should be displaying a picture. Oh, locking himself out. Of the 10 beaches that the New Jersey State Parks is in charge of submitting the data for. So over here is the menu. I'm going to open it all up, and then I'll go through some of it. First, you have user management. In this, you could add whoever from your organization to be able to log into this portal. You need a user ID and password. And then there's different permission settings. So you could set it up so that maybe your management just wants to see an email of whether the beach gets open or closed, like if the status changes or if it exceeds a limit or a geomean. That can just be set up as a permission that they just get email notifications. There's also a permission where someone can just enter the data. And then the last permission is the organization administrator. And they have the ability to add the users. Beach management, these are the 10 beaches that you saw on the front. This is where you can also open the beach for the season, close it for those temporary closures that are non-water quality related. Under here, it's simple to enter this data. This will be the weekly data that you enter. You just put a time, a result, hit submit data, and then your organization administrator has to verify the results. And then one more step after that is that DEP verifies the results. And at that point is when it goes to the public site, if it is going to the public site, which I should have showed you on beach management. This is where beaches, if they weren't going to the public site, you would just click it here, or we mostly manage this for you. If a beach wasn't opening that year, you could also just hit that it was not active. So under beaches, the system is automatically built to calculate certain things for you. One is if it exceeds the limit, it's going to automatically create an incident, which is the advisory. And then if it has 2 consecutive closures, the resample is also an exceedance. It will automatically calculate that closure for you on the website. In addition, we have the sanitary surveys in here. And this, you can add this information right in, and it helps walk you through to hopefully help you find a source if there's a problem. I'll go into that in a couple more slides. Geomean surveys is similar to the sanitary surveys, but you may want to do that when you have a beach that that exceeded the geomean instead of the regular single sample max exceedance. These are the rolling geomeans that it'll automatically calculate for that they were talking about. So as you're putting in that weekly data, it's going to give you the count of how many results you've put in for this one beach, and then it'll add that geomean right here. It's a 30-day rolling, and it'll tell you if you exceeded the limit. So for freshwater, the limit is 100 colony forming units of E. coli per 100 milliliters of sample. And then they were also talking about, we have now added the serious and fatal accident report form to submit electronically. This is exactly the same form that you have to submit to them. It's just now electronic. You would fill it out and just hit submit the form at the end. And this will send an immediate notification email over to the Department of Health, and they can then open it up and see that you have submitted one. Last is just the change passwords. So I am going to go back to sharing my slides. If I can find it. You can come on to sanitary surveys. Yes. So as I mentioned before, our beach management system includes our updated sanitary survey form to identify potential pollution sources based on recommendations from EPA and our experience with source tracking projects. Pre-season sanitary surveys should be conducted 1 or 2 months prior to the season, and this will inform any seasonal changes at the beach and in the watershed. And then sanitary surveys should be conducted after all water quality exceedances by duplicating that pre-season survey to identify the changes. Sanitary surveys for recreational waters involve collecting information at the beach or water body shoreline, as well as in the surrounding watershed. And it starts with basic information that can be collected at the water body's edge, including weather conditions, beach conditions, such as tide, if it's along a tidal water body, wave height, if it's on the ocean. Is there an abnormal color or to the water or odor? Are there people in the water? Are there any tidal pools or ponding of water on the beach? And then the form assists in finding the source by going through the potential pollution sources. Are there nearby stormwater outfalls? What is the land use of the drainage area for the stormwater outfall? Is it a park, residential, city sewer, or septic? Maybe there's a nearby failing septic system or sanitary sewer leak or overflow. Are there nearby dog parks, or is there an area where a lot of dogs are walked? Maybe people aren't picking up after their dogs. We saw earlier in the slide that one single dog per day can have over 5 billion or shed over 5 billion fecal coliforms. So that is very simple to see if you just check out the area, and it may be contributing to high water quality or water quality exceedances. Are there farms nearby? Is the manure maybe not being properly handled? Is there a lot of wildlife? What types of facilities might be nearby? Could there be a leaking dumpster from a nursing home or medical facility? What's in the upstream waterways? Is there nearby marina or heavy boat traffic that might be illegally discharging waste? What's the location and condition of nearby bathrooms? Could they be hooked up to the wrong system or leaking? And also be mindful of activities or events. So a couple years ago, we all of a sudden had some ocean beaches in Wildwood Crest that were failing. And after further investigation, we were able to track back that there was a food festival on the beach that created an influx of people and overflowing trash cans, which then attracted a significant number of seagulls. So this could easily be avoided in the future with having extra trash receptacles and more frequent emptying of those receptacles. If possible, obtain maps and sanitary sewage and stormwater infrastructure, and this could help investigate if there are chronic water quality problems. And then the final information on our sanitary survey form helps determine if there's a harmful algal bloom. Is there algae in the water or on the shoreline? What type of algae? Is it stringy or blobs of floating material? What's the color? Are there dead fish or other wildlife present? Has anyone reported being ill? Has the predominant algal species been identified? And if not, then DEP can help with grabbing samples and analyzing it under the microscope and to identify and quantify the species to determine if there is a harmful algal bloom. So that's it from me. If you'd like additional information on our beach monitoring system, you can visit njbeaches.org. And if you have any questions or concerns or need assistance with our system, please don't hesitate to call or email me. That's my contact information on this website. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Cheryl. Thanks, Steve. So now that you guys, oh no, the link can't be open. Okay, well, I'll do my best. I'll send it out on email for the guidance document, because the guidance document is extremely helpful. Kind of gives you a little walkthrough of how to access different screens in the BMS system. Can you guys unmute yourselves, or I'm not sure what Teams allows. So if you guys have any questions, one question we've received so far is if you submit your fatal serious accident report form or geomean information via the BMS, do you have to also submit it using the PRB email? And that is no. If any information you enter into the BMS, we automatically are receiving, so you don't have to duplicate your efforts. Also, the system automatically calculates this information for us and for you. As far as the geomean form, it lets you know at the 30-day rolling geomean if there's been any exceedances and what actions to take as far as the sanitary survey. For a fatal serious accident report form, again, we can still continue to analyze that data about how many we're seeing and what that information means for our local health departments and the state overall. Our goal is to reduce drownings by 30%. So we're doing a tremendous amount of work to try to increase awareness about the impact of drowning in our communities. So any questions? Right, fantastic. Well, if you do have questions, you can reach out to As far as the rule is concerned, you can reach out to njprb@doh.nj.gov. If you have questions about the beach monitoring program, you can reach out to Sherry. Her email is on the screen. And I'll give you back this 30 minutes of time. I appreciate your participation, and I'll make sure to get that freshwater geomean guidance document out to you via email very shortly. Have a great day, and thank you very much.